going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Godly Potential YouTube channel. Back at you with another video in this Spirituality for Beginners series. This video, let's talk about the intuition. The reason why we're going to talk about the intuition is because once you begin to embark on this spiritual journey, go down your spiritual process, there's a possibility that you may look up things on YouTube such as how to go through a spiritual awakening or beginner's guide for a spiritual awakening or things along that nature. Okay. And not only that, there's probably so much stuff out there and you probably get overwhelmed. You're like, should I focus on meditation? Should I do yoga? Should I get into tarot readings? Is it evil? Is it not? What's divination? Do I need incense? Do I need sage? What is negative entities? Are they affecting me? How do I put on a protection aura? Crystals, are they demonic? Are they good for you? Do they actually work? What are vibrations? So many different things. So the intuition comes in play because we all have our own unique path. Now, if you look up those YouTube videos, as I stated earlier, you'll find a plethora of YouTube videos stating essentially the process in which that person took, or a process that they witnessed others take, or a process that they wish they would have taken to make it more easier on them. However, each process is different for each individual, especially because the manner in which you expanding your consciousness, okay? Because they say when you view the world with a golf ball sized consciousness, that's how you view the world, with a very small perception of it based on your consciousness level. So once you expand in consciousness, it's no different than the pupil of the eye. When you're in sunlight, the pupil gets smaller in light. Once you go in the dark, it expands so you can see more in that darkness. It's similar to your consciousness level. Once it expands so you can see more. Once you see more, you can take in more, and it can be overwhelming. So it is all unique, person to person. And the best way to approach this, to go about this, is to tap into that intuition and follow that guidance, because that is going to lead you down certain paths. Okay, maybe you need to start off with shadow work first. Maybe you get that urge to get heavily into yoga, meditation. Okay, for me, one of the main things that I wanted to figure out was spirit guides, right? Because we all have a spirit guide. I'm going to mention that. I will talk about that in a later video. But my whole thing was, I want to know my purpose. I have a spirit guide that's been here with me since I was born. So they must have some insight on my gifts and my purpose. So I want to be able to contact my spirit guide so I can determine my purpose, figure out my purpose, get some insight on my purpose, or at least my abilities. And so that was my whole thing. I want to figure out who my spirit guide is. And then I want to ask some questions. But in order to do that, I must first open my third eye. This is my thought process, right? And when it came to the chakras, I didn't care about any other chakras. I just focused on the third eye and the crown chakra. So that's the path I took. Not saying it's the best path. In fact, once you go down these certain paths, you'll be rerouted and come into my understanding. But I say all that to say this: each individual is different. Because actually, before that, I was looking up past life regressions, right? Seeing what I was in a past life. But each person is different. They're going to have their own process. So trust your intuition. Follow that thing. Now, to be clear on the intuition, what is the intuition? How to better follow that. So I liken the intuition to your higher guidance, your higher self. It's that sixth sense you have, right? You have the five senses that are interconnected with the physical vessel, with the body. Then you have that sixth sense. Well, that supersedes the physical, right? It sees into, or it taps into, frequencies and the more subtle realms. So your intuition is your higher guidance. It is your higher self granting you guidance. With the reasoning first. It typically comes as a knowingness, like I should do this. And then you might backwards rationalize it and come up with um, the logical reason behind it. But typically, the intuition is just a matter of fact. It's like a knowingness. And why is that? Because the intuition will and can save your life. So if you are heading down a road with danger ahead, your intuition prompts you to take a different route. If you were to think about it consciously, well, why? I always go this route. Well, it's quicker this way. Well, yada, 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 right? That takes too long, okay? By that time, you have been head down that road and you would have ran into that danger or whatever may be the case. So it happens in an instant. It's a matter of fact. It's a knowingness. And you would be wise to follow that. So that's I just want to mention that. So the intuition would never leave you astray. And we've all had experiences where we had that gut instinct, that intuition, that intuitive feeling about a thing or a person or something, and we ignored it, and then later we're like, man, I knew I should want that. Or if you ever taken a test, the advice people always give you is go with your first mind. There's a reason for that. So the intuition is your higher guidance. It is that higher self, is that divine aspect of you that is guiding you. Okay? How to better follow, or how to tap into the intuition more. So the intuition, like I stated, it's a knowingness. It's not really a voice. But in this example, I'm going to paint the picture using a voice. So if someone was talking to you in a whisper, over time, if you kept ignoring them, they would eventually stop speaking to you. Or they're really, what's the word? Persistent. They will continue to speak to you, but it would just be in whispers as they normally talk. Now, typically what happens is the intuition, it will speak to you in a whisper. And because it's in a whisper, you ignore it. You don't really listen to it. However, when times of great danger or something that needs to happen takes place, that voice typically shouts. So it's like, hey, do not do that, right? And you, whoa, okay, don't do that, right? And those that's in those life or death situations with intuition must transform from a whisper to a shout to actually get your attention, because your life is at risk, or it's something that needs to be done. Okay. So it starts off with or it is a whisper, unless it's in like these intense cases where it becomes a shout. However, once you begin to listen to those whispers, your ears, you can say in this example, get attuned to hearing it. Okay. You can be, let's say, another analogy or example, or rather analogy. Let's say you're chilling at the house, you hear this real tiny sound, and you stop everything else, you pause the TV, turn the volume down, or whatever you tell people around you, hey, hold on real quick. Try to pick up on it. And you tune in for it, and then you can actually pick up on it. Let's say it's someone, a neighbor or something, talking or arguing, talking loudly. You can faintly hear it, but then when you quiet down, you tune in, You can pick up on more what's going on. It's like, oh, they're just joking, or they're out there fighting, right? It's the same thing with intuition. Once you begin to understand the way it communicates, you can tune into it. You can focus on that. And you can pick up on it more. So then when intuition prompts you to do something, as a whisper, you can follow that. And that takes me to my next point. The more you listen to it, the more attuned you get to it, and the more it prompts you. And the best way to tune into that intuition is to, on a day you don't have any responsibilities or less responsibilities, let's say on an off day from work, the kids aren't there, or you don't have kids and you just got a free day, or whatever the case is, right? Let's say you're on vacation, and on one of those days, you should do everything your intuition prompts you to do without resistance or without second guessing it. Let's say you wake up and you get that prompt into, let's go for a walk, right? And you normally don't do that. It's not part of your normal routine. It would be wise for you to do that. Get up and go for a walk. All of a sudden, you get a benefit from that. You might not be able to see it automatically, but you're getting a benefit. And then let's say you come back from your walk and you get the prompt in, let's go to this place. So you drive there. All right, let's go do this. And you do that, right? Let's wear this, you wear that. All right. And you just follow this for a day without second guessing. And what you will begin to realize that voice, you will begin to attune your hearing to it, right? Your hearing. And so over time, you keep doing this, whenever you get a day off or whatever, you will become accustomed to the way your intuition communicates to you. Now, a quick way, or an effective way that I've found, let's say you have to make a decision and you want to tap into that intuitive ability that you possess. Well, here's a quick exercise you can do to tap into that intuition right away. Okay. So if you could just relax, take a few deep breaths. Once you've got to a space where you're calm and relaxed as much as possible, you're going to say 3 statements or a few statements that are clearly true for you. Okay. Statement's going to be, you can make up anything, right? I am 6 feet tall. I weigh 220 pounds. I am 28 years old. Right? You got that? You're going to say 3 things that are obviously false for you. Right? I am a white male. Now, as you're doing this, you're going to pay attention to the feeling you experience in your body. For me, it's in the solar plexus area, in the gut area. Notice if you pick up on any tension or any resistance. Right? So, like I said, I am a white man. I am a woman. I live in Florida, right? Those are 3 false statements for me. And I can pick up on resistance within my solar plexus. Now, to really gauge it, you're going to go 1 false and 1 true, right? So it could be the same statements. So I am a woman. I am 6 feet tall, right? You'll notice that when you say the true statement, typically there'll be an openness, like there's just no resistance. You say the false statement, there'll be some type of tension, and you just want to experience that throughout your body and pick up on where it's located. Okay, so then when it comes down to decision makings, or if you got to make a decision, you would ask yourself, or you would state that in a in a manner in which you're asking yourself a question. So let me explain. So let's say you're trying to decide between two jobs, right? Job A and job B. You tap in, right? You settle in. You go through that process to begin, right? You ask yourself, if you say those statements that are false and then the statements that are true to get in tune with that feeling, then you're going to ask yourself or say this: I should take job A and see how that feels. They say, I should take job B and see how that feels. Okay? And that's a way to utilize the intuition, right? So that is what the intuition is. That is how to tap into the intuition. And the importance of the intuition, it's like I stated, when you're on this path, we all have our own unique path, our own unique journeys. And that intuition is guiding you down the path in which you need to travel down. If you simply follow a cookie cutter blueprint from somebody else, you may progress, but you're not going to progress in the way in which you need to progress. Okay? Because, like I stated, we all got our own unique path. And you may start on the same path as somebody else, but it might intersect, it might diverge off, you know? So trust your intuition and you will be fine. Go those day or two or how many days you got where you just tap in and listen to the intuition, right? If you made plans previously and your intuition, your gut's like, nah, be wise to cancel. Now, I believe in honor your agreements and yeah, just honoring your agreements. However, I also believe in honoring yourself. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. So that is the reason why you should trust your intuition. That is how to develop your intuition, and that is what the intuition is. Because like I stated, when you begin this journey, there's gonna be a lot of stuff coming at you. A lot of different things you can dive into. Trust that intuition, you'll be fine. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.